I gotta go. You got it, boss. Sangmin's eyes looked surprised, a complete change from before the phone call. Yujin Construction promised him 30 billion won just for signing up, even before forming the guild. And the son spoke to him with full respect. Sangmin was shocked. The thing is, dealing with big amounts of money like this is way beyond what I can handle. But if you give me some time, I can talk to my boss about it. Jinwoo stopped him mid-sentence. Then I think we're done here. Sangmin looked down, and didn't know what to say. He thought about why he failed. In the end, it was because he did not have enough information. He had rushed things and made quick risky decisions because he was too excited. If only he had studied Yujin Construction's plan more carefully, and followed the guild's usual steps. I need to tell the guild master about this first. If Chairman Yu thought Jinwoo was worth 30 billion, he might actually be worth 50 billion, or even 100 billion. It might not be too late with the guild's help. I should be able to dig up more information about him and push harder. Jinwoo interrupted his thoughts. Let me just ask you one thing. Sangmin raised his head and realized that Jinwoo's friendly expression had turned cold. Even though it was a warm spring night, the air around them suddenly felt cool. Gulp. As Sangmin gulped nervously, Jinwoo spoke softly. How many people know about me? Oh, only me for now. I was in such a hurry to try and recruit you, that I didn't have time to tell anyone else. Sangmin thought telling Jinwoo about Kachul might make him upset, so he decided to keep it secret for now. But Jinwoo said firmly, let's not lie to each other out of respect. Okay. Sangmin was surprised. What? Had Jinwoo already found out about them? If that was true, then hiding the truth would only hurt their friendship more. Sangmin really did not want to think about that idea anymore. He felt like he had no other option but to share the truth with him. The connection between a hunter and their guild was like how a famous person works with their manager. Even if a hunter wasn't ready to make a deal right now, it was important to stay on good terms, because you never know what might happen later. It was best to avoid any disagreements with them whenever possible. That was the rule. The second group always followed. Sangmin wanted to tell the truth. Honestly, one of my team members does know about you, he said. Jinwoo nodded. He had thought so all along. Doing research, watching someone, and contacting Jinwoo was all too much for one person to handle. The key clue was when Sangmin contacted him after Jinwoo got close to his house. As soon as Jinwoo approached his house, Sangmin called. It seemed like someone was keeping an eye on Jinwoo, and told Sangmin when he showed up. Sangmin likely wanted to talk to Jinwoo right away, but didn't want Jinho to find out. This wasn't an official matter from the White Tiger Guild. This was clear when Sangmin reacted to the 50 billion won. He worried when he saw a number higher than what he was allowed to approve. If he followed the rules, he would have at least pretended to call his bosses, even if the amount wasn't possible. Jinwoo thought there might be 2 or 3 people involved, and Sangmin confirmed it was just 2. Thankfully, things weren't too complicated after all. But why were only 2 people needed? He knew he could handle things without any problem. It was clear they wouldn't stop bothering him unless he said something, so he thought giving them a quick heads up was necessary. Jinwoo spoke up. I'll be honest as well, he said. I've already turned down Yujin's offer. Sangmin was shocked by this surprise. What? In that moment, Jinwoo disappeared from sight. Huh? Sangmin jumped up. He turned around quickly, but couldn't find Jinwoo anywhere. What's going on? Did he move so fast that I couldn't see him? Startled, Sangmin realized a hand was now on his shoulder. Injama. A chill ran down his spine. Don't turn around. The voice came from beside him. Jinwoo was sitting across from Sangmin one moment, and then quietly moved behind him the next. Stealth. Sangmin felt a chill run down his spine. Is he mad at me? Hunters were dangerous. Sangmin knew this from working closely with them. That was why he always treated them with great respect, was watching him and following him too much for Jinwoo to handle. I wish I had asked for help before coming here, but I didn't know his position, so I couldn't arrange any guards. Sangmin's mind raced, his heart pounded, and his breathing sounded really loud. Jinwoo said, please sit down slowly. I don't want to scare you too much. Sangmin nodded slowly. I think it's already happened. He did what was asked and Jinwoo appeared again, sitting down beside him. But Sangmin understood why Jinwoo would say that. The serious look in his eyes had already shocked him. If Sangmin had met Jinwoo's intense stare directly, he might have frozen up completely. Was this Jinwoo's way of being kind? Still there was no denying that Jinwoo was an intimidating person. Jinwoo continued, "The reason I turned down Yujin's offer is because I'm just not into joining a guild right now." Both of them kept looking straight ahead instead of at each other as they talked. "I see. Also," Jinwoo paused for a moment. "I would prefer it if no one else knew about me." It was a simple request. He didn't want to join a guild, and he wanted to keep a low profile. Sangmin understood immediately. But there was still one thing he was curious about. "If I may ask," he said, "then, why are you working with Gino? He's helping me with a personal matter." No one else knew about my awakening, and I thought of him as a trusted friend, so I asked for his help. Speaking of Jinwoo's words felt heavier now. "If I hear that people are talking about me behind my back, can I assume you or your team will take full responsibility, Manager N?" Even though Jinwoo had already removed his hand, the threat still pressed heavily on Sangmin's shoulder. This wasn't a bluff. Sangmin couldn't explain how he knew, but he was certain Jinwoo could cause a lot of trouble if he wanted to. My instincts about people are usually right. Jinwoo had survived several dangerous situations before. How did the saying go? Whatever happens in a dungeon stays in a dungeon. Who knows what Jinwoo had gotten up to in there. He also has this thing called the stealth skill. The skill can be pretty troublesome. People with this skill could do almost anything wrong, without getting caught as long as they're careful. Security cameras, guards, and alarm systems could not stop him. A bead of sweat trickled down Sangmin's face. I had no idea he could use stealth. He had amazing skills that few people have. No wonder Yujin offered him 30 billion. They would not make a deal unless they knew they would gain from it. Ba dump, ba dump. Even though he was scared, Sangmin's heart pounded with excitement. He replied, "Don't worry, your secret is safe with me. I'll make sure Kachul, my helper, understands too." Sangmin preferred keeping all of this private anyway. After all, someone as skilled as him could work freely without being tied down. There was no reason to share information and risk others finding out about Jinwoo. I could also get all the credit for finding him. Honestly, the main reason is that I don't want him as an enemy. I'll take your word for it, Manager N. With that, he was no longer sitting beside me. Sangmin looked around. The cafe was quiet and felt very comfortable. He felt like he had suddenly entered a different place. He couldn't speak and could only press his hand against his racing heart to try and calm down. Just then, Kachul ran into the cafe quickly. Kachul had been watching Sangmin and Jinwoo through the window. He ran to the scene as soon as Jinwoo disappeared. "Manager N." Sangmin looked very pale, so Kachul asked worriedly, "What happened? Did something go wrong?" Sangmin's shaking hands pulled out a cigarette and put it to his lips. "Kachul, I think this is even more serious than we thought. They had to find this man no matter what." Sangmin could not stop thinking about one idea. It seemed like the chance was still there. Kachul gently took his wrist, bringing him back. "Hey," Kachul said softly. Sangmin turned to look at Kachul just as he was about to do something. Kachul looked around cautiously and whispered, "This is a non-smoking area." Sangmin stubbed out the cigarette in his hand. Seriously. As soon as Jinwoo got home, he opened his stat window. Ping. Name Jinwoo Sun class. None. Health points HP 72129 fatigue. 0 level 39 title Wolf Assassin magic points. MP 63 stats. Strength 97 measures physical power. Stamina 59 shows endurance agility 97 measures speed. And reflexes intelligence. 51 affects is intelligence 51, affects awareness. Available ability points 0 physical damage reduced by 20%. Skills passive skills unknown skill. Level max always active skill willpower. Level 1 helps stay focused advanced dagger wielding level 1. Improves dagger use active skills. Dash level 2. Lets him move quickly. Murderous intent level 1. Sharpens his focus in combat. Fatal strike level 1. Increases critical hit chance. Equipped item warden's collar. And no wonder people are noticing. He jumped 12 levels from level 27 to 30. This was his biggest level jump since the first instance dungeon, where he started at level 1 and ended at level 17. Back then he was also low level, but now it felt different. It showed how many dungeons he had cleared in such a short time. He had only been raiding with Genio for 4 days, and already cleared 9 dungeons. What's more, all 9 were C-ranked. which are the hardest dungeons someone can do alone. They were moving extremely fast. This caused problems for hunters nearby, who needed these dungeons to survive. Jinyo watched in amazement at how quickly Jinwoo was going. As Jinwoo's level went up, it made sense that he could finish things faster. He had gained 12 levels in 9 raids, which meant he was leveling up about once each time he raided a dungeon, with 10 more dungeons to go. If he kept going at this pace, he would definitely reach level 50 after finishing all 19. Back when he was around level 25, he could already beat a B-ranked hunter. Now he had no idea just how strong he had become. His heart pounded with excitement. Jinwoo placed his hand over his heart, and felt how fast it was beating. Boom boom. Becoming stronger was more exciting than he ever could have imagined before. It's hard to believe that exploring gates and conquering dungeons could be so exciting. It's because I can actually see how much stronger I get. Every time his level went up and his skills improved, he saw how much stronger he got after each trip. Hunting Jinwoo felt like a real hunter now. Calling what Jinwoo did hunting felt right. Hunters have a saying that finding where you will hunt next is just as important as the hunting itself. Jinwoo already knew his next spot, Demon's Castle Dungeon. The first time he went there he was around level 21, and since then he had gone up nearly 20 levels. He felt ready to try but remembered Cerberus, the huge guard dog. What if I open the castle doors, and a bunch of creatures rush in and overpower me? The thought made him shiver. Maybe he could escape using the stealth skill, but he wasn't sure it would work. A hunter might be lucky, many times, but one mistake could cost him his life. This was why Jinwoo never took chances. He had to be completely certain he could beat a group of creatures as strong as Cerberus all at once. Cerberus's name was red. The color told how tough the monster was. The only time he had seen a monster with a red name was at Demon's Castle. Most monsters in special areas for mystery box keys were not very strong, like the ones in today's Mirai department store area. But for some reason Jinwoo thought the only monster he had ever seen with a red name was the one at Demon's Castle. Yet something felt off in his mind. He knew he was forgetting something. Was there another red-named monster besides the one from Demon's Castle? That didn't make sense. He almost died when he fought Cerberus at level 21, so if he had met a red-named monster earlier he would have been in big trouble. He suddenly remembered another tough battle during the penalty quest. There were huge centipedes in the desert with red names. They were called poison-toothed giant desert centipedes. At that time he didn't realize these new creatures were monsters. Now thinking back he realized something. If he could beat those centipedes easily he would feel confident enough to attack Demon's Castle. There had been more than one centipede, so he knew there was more than one. He wondered if he could handle fighting multiple high-level monsters at once. The question was how to get back there. He thought about skipping his daily task, because that might be the only way. If he did the punishment task or his regular one, he'd get the same number of power points, so it didn't matter. He decided I'll go there tomorrow. It was funny, because he almost died last time. He wondered if they'd give him any items or experience. As he thought about this, someone came out of the elevator down the hall, and caught his attention. The light footsteps sounded familiar. Gina's back. It was 11 p.m., the time his sister usually came home. Jinwoo stood up before she could even look for her key in her pocket. Click. Oh, Gina said playfully. At first Jinwoo had surprised her by opening the door, but now she was used to it. If there's one thing people are good at, it's adjusting. I'm home. Welcome back. Gina said hi to her brother, and went to her room. Jinwoo turned to lock the door, when hey, Jinwoo. Gina opened her door a little, and poked her head out. Do you have any days off this week? What for? My homeroom teacher said she needs to have a parent-teacher meeting, but it's fine if you can't make it. She looked nervous, like this was something special from her teacher. A parent-teacher meeting. Since Gina was a senior, her teacher would also be busy making sure her students had plans for their futures. Jinwoo did not want to go to the meeting but he agreed anyway because he had a day off. He said Thursday. Gina got very excited and almost hugged him. Jinwoo quickly stopped her. She rolled her eyes and went back to her room. He let out a sigh. Ugh, non-stop raids revisiting the penalty zone, and now a parent-teacher meeting the day after tomorrow. It was shaping up to be a busy week. Jinwoo left home early since he had a lot to do today. Jinyo had booked 4 dungeons. It seemed like they were making up for taking the next day off. Well, considering how fast I've been clearing them, 4 or 5 dungeons a day shouldn't be a problem. The bigger issue was that it was rare for multiple C-rank gates to appear close together. But today Jinwoo got lucky. He walked up to his apartment with a bounce in his step. Instead of Jinhyo's van parked in its usual spot, he noticed something strange. Dagsuke. He might have ignored it if not for what happened yesterday. I thought I made things clear. Jinwoo quickly spotted a man in a suit lurking nearby. He was staring at his watch, so he did not notice Jinwoo until the hunter stepped close and said, "Excuse me." The man jumped back in surprise. "Hunter-sung," he stuttered, acting like he had seen a ghost. Jinwoo had hoped to surprise him with his stealth skill. Jinwoo shook his head silently. "Are you from the White Tiger Guild?" he asked. The man looked confused and replied, "Sorry." "Oh yes, I am Kachul Hyen from the second team of the White Tiger Guild. This must have been the team member the manager talked about last night. Pleased to meet you, sir." Kachul glanced at Jinwoo as he held out his hand. He clearly wanted to shake hands, but Jinwoo was not in the mood for it. After a short silence, Kachul turned red and pulled his hand back. "I think I made it clear. I'm not interested in joining a guild," Jinwoo said quickly, waving his hand. "Oh, that's not why I'm here." He then held out a travel mug from his other hand. Jinwoo looked at the colorful drink in the see-through bottle curiously. Kachul stood up straight proudly. "Here's a green smoothie I made." Jinwoo felt he had no choice but to take the drink as Kachul kept offering it to him. "So you've been here since morning just to give me this?" "Yes, of course. It's for your health." Jinwoo wondered why the White Tiger Guild cared about him so much. Kachul smiled brightly as he left. "See you later, sir." He waved goodbye and Jinwoo waved the bottle back at him. What an interesting guy. As soon as Kachul was gone, Jinwoo looked at what was inside the travel mug. He had heard stories about top insurance salesmen winning over customers by bringing them bottled drinks, but this was the first time he had heard of someone trying to influence another person with a homemade green smoothie. In any case, I can't just throw it out. Not that Kachul would do such a thing, but even if the smoothie were poisoned, Jinwoo wouldn't have to worry because he had a special ability that kept him safe. He decided to give it a try. Jinwoo took a sip. He smiled with delight. It was pretty good. Then he heard a familiar voice behind him. "Sir." Jinwoo turned around when he heard Jinhyo come up. "Always cheerful." Jinhyo nodded toward where Kachul had gone. "Who was that?" Jinhyo asked. "The guy who was just here." Jinwoo simply said, "Insurance salesman." "Okay." The always positive Jinhyo took this answer at face value. Jinwoo looked around. "Where's your car?" If Jinhyo had noticed Kachul, it would mean he'd arrived earlier. But his odd-looking van wasn't anywhere to be seen. "I parked it over there, boss." "Why?" "You know those strange murders that have been happening nearby with no clear reason. People have been looking at him strangely because he doesn't live here." Jinwoo nodded. There had been a lot of news about murders recently. Most of the victims were young women, and there had already been 2 cases this month. Now seeing an unfamiliar black van near the apartment building made everyone even more nervous. Slurp slurp, Jinwoo drank the last of his smoothie. He shook the bottle hard to get any last drops before heading to where the van was parked. "Let's roll," he said. "Yes, sir," they replied. This dungeon was full of lizardmen. Lizardmen were creatures that were part lizard and part human. They walked on 2 legs, could use weapons, and some could even cast spells. Lizardmen mages were not common, but they could be very dangerous. One such mage created a fireball in each hand. Jinwoo tried to get closer, but the 2 lizardmen guarding the mage jabbed their spears at him. They had fast reflexes, kind of like a lizard, and Jinwoo barely jumped back in time to avoid getting hurt by a sharp object. Fireballs then came flying toward him. "Foom foom. Look out, boss." Jinhyo yelled from where he was watching the fight at a safe distance. There were loud explosions in the small cave, and thick smoke filled the air. Jinhyo coughed hard as he covered his nose with his hand. But he was more worried about Jinwoo than himself. The attacks from the lizardman mages were very powerful. His fears turned out to be unnecessary because Jinwoo came out of the smoke without getting hurt. Jinhyo was amazed and thought it was incredible. Even though lizardmen are some of the toughest enemies you might face in a C-rank dungeon, Jinwoo had faced a mage's attack directly without getting hurt. Jinwoo was getting faster every day. I must be imagining things, right? Jinwoo spit out the ashes that had gotten into his mouth. 2. What landed on the ground was black. These creatures made him furious. Jinwoo was not happy about breathing in the ash from some lizardman's flashy magic trick, and his scowl showed how annoyed he was. Skill Murderous Intent has been activated. Sharp daggers flew towards them. Debuff Panic has been activated. All the opponent's abilities will decrease by 50% for 1 minute. The lizardmen exposed to Murderous Intent became nervous and scared. Skrik, Skrayok. Jinwoo didn't wait and threw Kasaka's Venom Fang with all his might. The dagger flew straight and hit a guard right between the eyes. Shunt, it was too fast for a lizardman with slowed movements to dodge. Skrayaw. The other guard wailed in fright when it saw its friend die.